Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll be doing an unboxing and first look of the TC32 boxing gloves and mitts. So check it out. Hey guys, Carlo here, and today I'm doing an unboxing and first look of these made in Mexico TC32 boxing gloves and mitts. This is the very first time I'm ever going to see these gloves in person, so I'm really excited to see how they turn out. Let's go ahead and get this box open and check them out. So first things first, they do have saran wrap over the bag. One thing you'll notice is these gloves were shipped from Mexico, from Monterrey, Mexico. I believe that's in Nuevo Leon, and you can see it says X-ray on there. That's kind of interesting. And anytime you guys get anything that's shipped international, at least here in the States, they go through customs. So, you know, they check the gloves. I had an incident a long time ago where, actually I had a couple times that had happened to me, where I had a pair of my Sabas Pro Series Prime gloves that were shipped to me, and U.S. Customs decided to take it upon themselves to cut the inside liner of the gloves open, which pissed me off to say the least. But you know, they were inspecting it for, I'm sure they're looking for drugs or other type of legal items, but still, that's really messed up to cut a pair of brand new gloves open. So okay, so I have a little bit more than a pair of gloves. I have a it looks to be a headgear, some mitts like I mentioned, as well as some gloves. So let's go ahead and get these all open. Guess I'll start off with the mitts. First things first. So one thing you'll notice here is you have the professional TC32 card that is in Espanol, and it basically gives like their information, their phone number, as well as their social media that you can follow them. So we have that there. You also have a quality and authenticity certificate. Through the certificate, TC32 states that all the materials used during the manufacture of this training equipment are of the highest quality, thus providing great ergonomics and durability in our product. So they stand by their product, which is great to see. 100%. I believe that says cuero vacuno, and obviously I'm not completely fluent in Spanish, but if you guys know what that means, make sure you guys comment and let all of us that are not fluent know what that means. So you do have that right there. And then, okay, so let's go ahead and pull the mitts out and see how these mitts look right out the bag. I like this colorway a lot. I don't think I've ever had any any boxing gear in this colorway. So it's basically a white and kind of like an olive green, which looks really sharp. For my first impressions, these are definitely more of like a micro mitt. And they definitely have that really strong leather smell that you get from a lot of the Mexican-made boxing equipment. Similar to like Gel, Zepol, Flepo Reyes, you name it, and it has that very similar, nice thick feel as far as the grain of the leather. And you also have this Velcro strap, as well as a metal D-ring right there. So you have that full Velcro strap. It says professional TC32, one day, one goal. That's an actual plastic patch on the crown, or should I say that little, the finger cover that goes right over there. Canopy, if you want to call it. It does say TC32 on the strike surface, made in Mexico. And it does have a very hard foam, very firm. And I'd say maybe about 2.5 inches of really firm density foam. So you have that there, and you also can see that it has a little bit of a curvature to it, and what seems to be a little bit of an air pocket to help disperse the power of the punch. Sliding my hand into the actual mitt, it does have a really pronounced palm ball or palm cup, if you want to call it. So you have something to grip onto when you put these on and you're using these. So it feels very comfortable. Initially, I feel like the depth of the finger compartment is actually pretty good, perfect. I mean, I don't feel like my fingers are touching the little hood right here, if you want to call it. And you can definitely feel the grain of the leather on the inside of these mitts. The bottom portion of the mitt, where the actual padding goes into, is also laced up at the bottom, so you can actually insert the padding in there. So overall, these look very, very nice and have a great feel to them. So go ahead and put the mitts over. Let's do the headgear now. So I have this headgear, which is going to be an open face cheek protector style headgear. Again, it says professional boxing equipment TC32, 1 day, 1 goal, made in Mexico, right here. And I do like the way this patch feels. It has a very kind of smooth, buttery feel to it. It looks really classy, clean, and doesn't look overdone. The leather on here, again, also has a very strong leather smell to it. You can see it has the traditional ear donuts on the side. I'd say that's maybe about an inch to an inch and a half in thickness. The top crown is a lace adjustment, as well as the rear adjustment is lace up, which I love. The cheek protectors are raised, just like some of the other Japanese inspired style headgears. The thickness of it, just right here on this raised section, is probably about almost 2 inches of thickness. And then the inside liner is going to be leather as well. So the same kind of leather on front facing of the headgear as well as on the inside liner. And then lastly, you do have what looks to be a pretty standard and traditional chin strap with metal buckle system with the little holes, as well as the metal buckle. And then you have this buckle strap with a little slit that you can slide the strap into. And then that also is reinforced with a leather cover that goes over that. So I'll be using this during sparring, and then I'll do my review to give you guys my feedback and my thoughts on this headgear. But overall, it looks very nice. The blue on here is kind of like a, I want to say like a royal blue. This is it kind of reminds me kind of like a bluish with like a hint of gray. And I know that for you guys watching this video, looking out on the video, you can't really see it, but it has more of a subdued blue look to it. And the leather is definitely more of a satin matte type finish, not a very shiny type of leather. But overall, really nice. Flat laces, as well as the plastic tips at the end in black. So we have the headgear, and then a couple other things they have in here, some TC32 looks like decals or stickers. That looks kind of like a, maybe I'm wrong, but it looks kind of like a double end bag or a speed bag. Yeah, it looks kind of like a speed bag. Has some interesting graphics there. That's kind of cool. I dig it. It says TC32. That looks like a heavy bag. And this guy looks, again, like a speed bag. Again, so get some decals that are included. And then lastly, the gloves. So sliding these gloves out. Oh wow, these look really nice. All white leather. And these have a very, I'd say traditional Mexican tapered cut to them. They are in 14 ounces, full leather construction. And let me go ahead and put the right side down. Very clean looking TC32 logo, again with their slogan, 1 day, 1 gold. And then the leather on here, again, more of a satin matte type finish to the leather, not a very shiny leather. Exact same leather I believe they use in their headgear as well as in their mitts. And I think this is latex foam. I believe this is a latex foam padding, so you see it has more of a medium to soft density to it. Full wraparound Velcro strap, all made from leather with a plastic TC32 patch on the back of the strap. You have the Velcro on the back of the glove. I'd say you have about maybe an inch of foam padding on the back of the wrist, as well as about almost an inch, I'd say, of firm density foam padding on the inside of the wrist on both sides. And you can see that padding kind of comes up and extends into the palm area. White piping throughout, white attached thumb, as well as some ventilated holes on both the palm as well as on the thumb. So a full white leather glove. The liner is going to be your standard polyester nylon satin liner on the inside, and you also have a piece of elastic that keeps the palm side together. Looking on the inside of the gloves, at least on the left, there's no tags on the left glove and no tags on the right. And you do have the 14 ounce on the very bottom cuff. Sliding my hand into the glove. So the first thing you notice with these is they're extremely soft and broken in feeling, which I'm not really used to when it comes to Mexican made gloves. Oftentimes, like the Gill, the Zeppels, they're pretty nice and comfortable. I mean, they're a little bit more on the roomier side. So for myself, having medium-sized hands, anybody that has smaller hands, you typically will go down in size just so that it's not so roomy. But one thing I noticed about these are definitely not as roomy as those other gloves. They're a little bit more compact and definitely have a softer feel to them, especially when you're able to open and close your hands with relative ease. So in terms of like the stiffness that you get with some Mexican gloves, these definitely are softer than those. You notice that the grip bar is in a really good spot, and thumb positioning is perfect as well. So again, another thing I noticed with some Mexican gloves, you get kind of that flare out or that really awkward shape of the thumb. With these, initially they feel really good. The depth of the thumb isn't too shallow, so it doesn't feel like my thumb will jam. At least for now. Obviously, once I start using these, I'll know for sure. Once you put the rounds in, that's when you start feeling all the little intricacies of the glove, certain areas that you may or may not like. But so far it feels really good. I do notice that there's a little bit of excess kind of material in this portion of the glove on the top of my fingers, on both sides. It's not a huge deal, but it would have been nice to have it just more of a kind of a flatter liner. But again, we're kind of picking at straws here to find out what are the little small improvement. But so far, the grip bar feels really good, and I definitely love how soft they feel in terms of just the broken inness. Also with the thumb piping right here, sometimes you get a pinching down feeling. I don't foresee that being an issue with these gloves in this section, even with my hand wraps on. The quality of the gloves looks really good. The leather, again, has more of a matte-like look and feel to it. The piping is really nice. Stitching looks really clean throughout the entire glove overall. And let me check the right side. And check that out, put the strap on. The glove looks like it's pretty well balanced, and that's gonna be because of that padding on the palm side that helps out with that. But overall, there's nothing glaring in terms of areas of stitching or anything that has a huge imperfection from a craftsmanship standpoint. Everything looks really clean. I guess if I wanted to kind of nitpick, that might be a little bit off on that wrist hinge. You can see the kind of stitching kind of goes up and kind of drops back down. But outside of that, and then you have, again, and I think I had this with some other Mexican gloves, you also notice right here on this fingertip that there's some natural marking. And you get that with certain leather hides as well, where you get a little bit of some kind of, I wouldn't necessarily even call it imperfection. I would just call that just a natural occurrence with a genuine leather hide that you have right there. So you can see the little bumps right there from the leather. And I think that has a lot to do with just the way that the white dye is dyed into the leather grain, and it might not take it in as well as some other flat portions of the glove. But I definitely want to see how that kind of plays out the more I use these gloves. If the color maintains its solid colorness, or if it starts to kind of wear down. Kind of like with metallic gloves, where you start noticing that the metallic really starts to fall apart and just gets really dull. I want to see how these hold up in terms of the actual dye and the paint of the gloves. But overall, really impressed with these. They look really solid. Love the fact that I have the headgear and the mitts. We'll be trying all of this gear out for the next several weeks. And then after that, I'll be putting my review out and give you guys my thoughts. So if you guys have any questions, make sure you guys leave them down below in the comments box. I'll put the link in the description box where you can find this TC32 made in Mexico boxing equipment. I'll see you guys later. Take care.